Hello everyone. Today we're going to create our personal blog. Now in our blog we will have a header which will redirect to all of our components, and then we're going to have our banner with a slider. As you see, we can change the slider and all the image is perfectly fine. That also we have a banner bottom section, and now bottom here, down over here, we have our post items. Now whenever we click on our post item, it will take to our particular slug, and those items is coming from that Sanity CMS and is already in live. If you go to my, as you see, open Sanity Studio, it means it's live. It's not from my local host, it's coming from the Sanity backend. So now as you see, every single details is coming from there, and I'm going to show you how easily you can make it. So if I click on that particular content, as you see, all the details, all the relatives items is available over here. And by the way, we also can make comment over here. Now if I just try to put a comment, it will not let me put a comment because as you see, I need to sign in to comment. So to sign in, let's go and click on the signing tab. So now I can sign in with the GitHub, also in Google and Discord. So let's try with the Google, and it's gonna show you all the available option for signing with the Google, and that sign in is coming from the Next-Auth. Now here you see, after signing in, our image is changed, and also as well as our title, and also we're gonna have a rendered a sign out button. So now after signing in, we will able to make the comments. So just make a comments, just make it as a YouTube user, put a mail, here is the message from YouTube viewers. So now let's submit our comment. So after submitting, thank you. Also, we're going to get a submitting message. Thank you for submitting your comment. And once it has been approved, it will appear below. Not anybody can just comment anything. It should be approved by you. And to do that, as you see, if we go in our backend in the comment section, if we just come over here, as you see, there is a comment came from the YouTube user, and that's the details of the comment. So now if we approve, it will show in our front end. So let's approve that one. It will just take 1 to 2 minutes accordingly to your internet collaboration. And also, so let's that comment is coming. Let's go to our blog section, and we're gonna just check how much faster it can update. So now as you see, we have a title over here, luxury car. Let's change the title. Let's go in the post, and also we're gonna change the title. So luxury car, I'll just type that for you, and then publish that one. And now just give it a minute. I think it will take a minute or two to update that one. So while it's updating, I'm gonna give you good news for you all viewers, because for you, that what I did actually, I did for you that header portion, it's already updated. You don't need to do anything. And also I did for you regarding that a banner, and also that banner bottom, and also the footer I created predefined, and also that is highly responsive for that, and all I uploaded here over in my repo. It will be that https github.com/node.js-tips/textblog.git. I'm going to put that also in the description below in YouTube, and you can feel free to go over here, and either you can just copy that link, you can clone it, or you can download. Just feel free to do whatever way you want. For our today's application, I'm just gonna clone that application. Feel free to just follow the way I'm doing. It will be all right for you, or you can just follow the other way. So let us clone for that one for our today's application. Git clone. Now while it's cloning, let's just put a refresh over here, and as you see, I think it will give us the desired result. And now you can see luxury car for you. That things is already updated, and it's very fast. It just take a minute or two. And also let's see if we can see our comment which we made. Now in the comment section, it still is not appearing. Just give it a time. I think my net is getting a little bit slow. Oh, it's here. As you see, it's coming up from that YouTube user. Here is the message from YouTube viewers. So we successfully made that comment, and also everything is working just fine. Just make it sign out, and you see after sign out, we're getting a different image. Hello stranger, they sign in. So everything is working perfectly fine. We're gonna create that one from the scratch. I'm gonna close my repo because I think it's already cloned. And now let's see the test block because the name is the test block, and I'm gonna open it to my code editors. And after opening that, close that one. I'm gonna get my editor over here. So whenever you are cloning or downloading anything from GitHub, you need to install the node modules. As you see, if you just look closely over here, there is no node modules. Because whenever we are uploading in GitHub, we have one gitignore file where we are ignoring all the node modules to be uploaded in GitHub. So now, at first, what we need to do, we need to make it that npm I, so it will install all the relative dependencies for our application. And we already made it by Next.js, so it will be just install all the dependencies required. As you see, it has been done. So now to run the Next.js application, we will not do it with npm start. Instead, we're gonna make it npm run dev. You can go through the nextjs.org to know each and everything related to Next.js. So let's open in our local browser, in our local host 3000. Close that Sanity CMS also. So now let us give it a time to spin it. So as you see, you have the footer is you have the header is ready, and also the sign in option, everything is ready, and our slider is just fine, and also our banner portion is also fine, and everything is just working fine. If we just make it drag and drop, as you see, it's fully responsive. It's the way it works. It's fully responsive. So feel free to clone that one. It can help you very much in your building. So now here we need to create our post section. So before creating the post section, we need to do one more thing, as that is we need to get our sanity on the way, because as you see, we didn't initialize our sanity over here. As if we go, we have a now just get the install of sanity. So then I'm going to explain whatever we have that one over here. So now to go do that, let's go to sanity.io.manage. So by default, you're gonna go there over here. If I just try to make it sign out, first of all, you need to sign in. Okay, you need to sign in with Google, GitHub, or whatever way you like. So I will sign in with Google, and now I'm gonna choose my account which I want to sign in. And here you need to create a project. If you click here, as you see, you cannot create manually because you need to create in the CLI, in the command line. So I'm gonna copy that one, and here in my CLI, in my terminal, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run that command. So it's giving me that npm y create sanity at latest. So let's click on it. Just follow me the way I'm doing. If you have the yarn, you just make yarn add create sanity at latest. It will be work just fine. So now here you see it's asking either I'm gonna go with I'm just gonna make it put it a bit top. It's asking that either I'm gonna go with my previous application or I'm gonna create a new project. So I will just follow to step to new project, click on the new project, and the project name, I need to give the project name. So let us just give personal blog. Yeah, that will be a personal blog. So now it's gonna just install whatever the required dependencies, and yes, I'm gonna use the default dataset. And also the path, I think I will just go by default. And now what is showing, I need to choose what kind of, for this project, I'm gonna go with a blog schema. I'm not gonna make it everything from the scratch. It will take time. So I'm gonna go with blog schema, and of course, I'm gonna use the Typescript. I'll say yes. And now it's gonna install everything with npm. So now it will be a project inside my another project. So it's pretty cool. Let us give it a time to install all the dependencies required. And if you want to learn something more about how those things actually work, you can just close that one. You can go to Sanity documents, and every single details you can find over here. Feel free to explore. And for our today's, if you want to have your blog after end of this video, just feel free to follow the step on me. trust me, you're gonna have your blog at the end of your video. Okay, you're gonna make it. We're gonna make it together. So as you see, is it okay yet? No, still it's installing the dependency. Just give it a little bit of time. So now our everything is just setting up, as you see. So first of all, let's look back before going to Sanity what we have inside our project. We have a component folder. Here we have all the banner section. All the items is just going from here. I use the Tailwind CSS for make it much more easier. And in the banner, you see we have the image. You can feel free to go change the image because those all image is I'm just pulling it from the image folder over here. You can just put another image and you can just import over here. It will work just fine. It's just easy peasy. Then we have also that banner bottom, and this bottom is containing those portions is down over here. So feel free to go and look about that one. And then we have that footer item. All the footer items is available here. And also we have that header section. Header section items is available over here. And after that component section, we have one pages option. And in the pages, as you see, that is our predefined API from the Nextjs. And we have Nextjs. I'm importing everything from in the Nextjs in the index.tsx. And as you see, the portion we're gonna work over here is the posts part. So all the things in the comment, feel free to explore a bit before starting with that. And also you will find one that style actually we are using the global.css, and also there will be something very interesting for you as you see the document.jsx. Now this one I am using because as you see, if you just go in the Tailwind config.js, you'll see I'm using the two fonts, which is Poppins and Montserrat. And in Next.js, you cannot import it inside just in the index.tsx. So you need to create document.jsx. And from that file, you can create it. Feel free to go documentation in Next.js. You can understand better. Just for a hacky trick, we can import any of the dependencies, external links using that document.jsx. So just explore a bit to understand that one. So now this is our normal setup, and after that, let's go and explore our Sanity blog section. As you see, it also has the node module schemas, and here is the schemas for author. Like we create that default one for the blog content. So the categories, index, and also we have the post. So we're gonna go with each and everything with that later on. You will understand much better in a bit, just in a bit. And also it's every single setup required of that is has over here. So now we're gonna have our project ID, we have our data set, so everything is working just fine. So it's time to let's run. Let's see how it's gonna run. So first of all, if we just go to Alice, let's go to our cd personal blog, which is Sanity 1. You can put any name. I'm just putting the personal blog. So for that one also, what I'm gonna do, npm run dev. You can also make sanity stir, but run dev is much more better for me. So now it's similar way. It gonna spinning everything and it gonna open in a browser, same like the Next.js application we are using. The spinning is done, and you see we can access that one in localhost 3333. That's the default port is taking for the Sanity. Now, whenever you open it, you will get just a plugin with the white CSS. That CSS problem is happening because we are using Tailwind CSS. So we need to also give that access the Tailwind config.js file to our Sanity, the blog file we have inside here. So what I'm gonna do, just a simple setup. You can I'll just copy that tailwind.config.js. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna paste it in our personal blog. So now I think it will be all right. So let's go and refresh that one. So now as you see, it's gonna spin around and it's gonna take in a way. I think the error will be gone. Or I can do one thing because we use the config file. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna kill that one, and I'm gonna just make npm run dev. Just kill it and open that one because it's a config.js file. So maybe it can just create some collapse in between. Now we will be able to open our application. So if we open this time, you see it will give us to get the Google login. And please don't forget to log in with the particular account you used to log in the manage and the sanity.io when you are opening your account. So now I will choose the same account. If you choose the different account, it may be collapsed. So just be sure to choose the same account as the other one. And you see it's loading, and now we are having our vision tool, and you see our post is available, our author section and category. And now how you will create the post, how it gonna be. So first of all, as you see, we have one blog over here. Just to post this blog, we're gonna create that portion over there. How are we gonna create? So in over here, I'm gonna close this one and let's just drag it over here. So now in the post section, I'm gonna just here there is a button of like same like edit. I'm gonna click on it. So now it's gonna give me what in the post what we will have. We will have our title, we will have slug, author, and everything is related here. You see we mentioned one schema name post. So in the post we already mentioned what it's gonna be. A post will be defining that it will be a title, there will be a slug will be there, then the author, main image. So every single things we just declare over here. Feel free to come and just see how it's gonna be done over here. So now we need to give a title. For that one, I'm just gonna copy from here. So you can give any item you like for your application, that title. That title. And if I just click in generate, it's gonna generate a slug for me. And also I need to create a author because right now we don't have an author. So create author, it's gonna take in me another tab. So I'm gonna give a name of my author. What's the name we have over here? Honest B. Just I'm gonna place it in the same way, and it will also create a slug for our author. And now for the author image, I'm gonna select that one, author image, and just I'm a creative designer. Just a bit of idea of how you can do. So now let's publish that one. So now we are getting our author. Let's close that tab, and as you see, it's picking that author. That author is available over here. So now we need to upload the main image, and we're gonna select the main image from here. It will be that one, the cover image. And also we can create the categories for this application. I'm not going to create it now. It's going to also take the time of publish at. Either you can choose any date you want to publish, or if you go to default, it's going to create that default application. So now what we're going to be make actually. So now here is it's a rich text content. So you can choose from here which text you want, H1, H2, if you want to make your text bold or list item, or want to make it emphasize, or you want to add an image. So for this one, what I'm gonna do, first of all, I'm gonna create that one. Oops, it will be here. So as you see, it's the H1 tag. It's just taking the one I did it over there. And now also I'm gonna put that details over here. I'm just gonna copy it from. So feel free to change the things for your application and do the things you like. And now as you see, there is an image, and that image also I can upload from here clicking in the insert image option. And now there is an option to upload the image. I'll choose that one. Let's upload. As you see, it's pick the image. So after the image, I want also there will be some more text which I'm gonna choose. And as you see, those text I'm gonna copy. And you see, it is a list item over here, and also it's so intelligent that it also can rectify that list item and arrange it the same way you just want to make it. So you can make it in a rich text and you copy it over here. So let's go and take another image. So I'm gonna paste it another image for that. Image will be this one. Upload that. Okay. And after that image, we're gonna have some of the articles. Now let's publish our first content. So this is our first content. As you see, we can see the author and the category you didn't select. So it's just, I just don't want to put the category for that one. So now our first post is ready. But before that, now we need to know how we can access that post in our application, right? So first of all, to make access, we're gonna just go through some of the clarification, some of the configuration to access the Sanity in our Next.js application. So first of all, let's go to create that connection. To create that connection, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go in my top level over here in my in my Next.js application, not inside this personal blog, which is under Sanity, not that one. So in the top level of my directory, and I'm gonna take another file, and that file I'm gonna give a sanity.js. You can make ts or tsx. I'm gonna make js. Some JavaScript is better to be there. So now what I need to know to connect, if I just go over here in npm, I'm gonna type next sanity. So there is a very good node module. You see the for next sanity and next sanity image, for image also, that one is available over here. So I need to import that one. As you see, everything, whatever things I'm implementing is somewhere from here. Okay, so feel free to go and just explore each and everything from here. You will understand it so better. But for our application, I don't want to just hang out much more. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy that one, and I'm not gonna come over here. If you follow me, it will just work fine for you. So I'm gonna take another terminal, and in this terminal, as you see, first of all, you need to check where you are. You are inside that personal blog directory or in the top level of the directory. Okay, so don't mess around because it can cause a problem for you. So how we can check that one? Let's come over here and ls, as you see, personal blog over here. So we are in the main directory. So we're gonna install that next sanity portable text, which coming from the React, and also sanity image URL. So let's import that one. And while it's importing, what we need to take from there. Okay, so after it installed, we're gonna take all the necessary items from there. First of all, let's go in the env file. You can find a .env file. Now here, all the secret related, like the sanity project public sanity project ID, and next public sanity dataset, next public sanity API version, and also sanity API token. I'm gonna show you how you can collect the token later on. And also you need to get the Google client ID and client secret to access the Google and GitHub ID and secret. I'm not gonna show you the Discord. You feel free to do it yourself. I'm gonna show you GitHub and Google account, how you can make it. So first of all, we need a next sanity public project ID. While it's installing that one, let's go to our personal blog in the Sanity CMS folder. And in here, as you see, there is one sanity config.ts. As you see, here is our project ID for our today's application. So this ID, I'm gonna just paste it over here. And also after this ID, we have our dataset. And this dataset, I'm gonna paste it over here. Also, we need to get our API version, and for our today's application, I'm gonna use just one of the version is I'm gonna use that version. There is a different version. You can feel free to go and access. So as you see, it's already installed that one. So also we are connecting, we got this next part. So remember to follow and to get all of these items, because we need this item now in our sanity.js file to connect. So first of all, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna import the create client from next sanity, and also I'm gonna import another thing, which will be the image builder. That one I'm gonna import from the sanity image URL. And after that, I'm gonna get my, I'm gonna pull that up from my file. I'm gonna get my project ID, dataset, and API version. As you see, I'm gonna getting my project ID, and that project ID is coming from process.env, that file which I'm having in my local host. So that one is taking this value. So I'm getting from there, process.env, next public sanity project ID and API version, I'm gonna getting from there. Now I need to wrap everything up inside a config file. So let's make the export and the const config, and in that config, what I'm gonna declare, I'm going to declare the project ID, the ID I take over here. And also I'm going to declare the data set and also the API version. And there is another option to using the use CDN. If you just go in their actual terminal over here, you can see there is a use CDN. This CDN is we are using for the caching purposes to cache your data from wherever you are browsing to save it in a local purposes. Like whenever you're accessing, it's gonna be make you so faster. Try to read some articles regarding that. You will be feel free to understand it better. So now we are having our it not be config. It's gonna be config. You can give any name. It will work just fine. So better to put in config. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna export that Sanity client which we are imported before. I think it's Sanity client, right? Yeah, Sanity client. I'm gonna give in a Sanity client name, and here I'm gonna pass that value from the Sanity create client, and I'm gonna give that value as config. So what I did, now I can access the Sanity client as a name of Sanity client, and I can access that all of things to actually access my dataset in Sanity. So after that, also what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna also export another piece of things, which will be URL4. I'm gonna give a name of URL4, or you can give any name for that one. So in that, I'm gonna take a source for that one. Source, and in that source will be the functional component. And now I'm gonna create image builder. As you see, we import that one from Sanity image URL, and in here I'm gonna pass a variable name is the config, so we can access all the root element from there. And also I'm gonna pass whatever the image is coming from there, and that image will be coming from all the sources from including, and I can access that images with that. So now with that Sanity client and URL4, I can access the Sanity CMS content and also all the images from Sanity. So we are good to go. So now it's time to connect our Sanity in our over here. If we go to our pages in our index.tsx, we will connect our Sanity project over here. First of all, we need to create a query, like how we get that content from the Sanity CMS. So if we come over here, now there is the vision tab, and within trying that vision tab, we can access all the items to pick the items from there. Like if I just for you to see how it will work, if we just type any type, and type will be post, and from that post, what I want actually, I want that post ID and also the title, and also I want the slug. So now if I try to make the fetch, it's gonna see we have one item and it's fetching our slug title, which is had the vintage interior. As you see over here, the title is just picking up. So this is a kind of grok query which giving you the access to, it's like the other platform, other backend structure. You can feel free to go Sanity, and there you can find every single setup of answer you are looking for. So for our today's application, I have a query set up over here, which I'm gonna use that one. So in that query, I'm gonna get that post ID, title, and that author of that post, and the name of the author, the image and description, main image, and slug. So all the things we're gonna get through that query. Now we need to use that query in our application, and to do that, what you need to do to access those things in our Next.js, what we need to do actually, we need to create a function which will be, and I will do it actually at the end over here at the bottom. We need to create a get server side props. So let's const export, which will be const, and that one will be get server side props, and it will be a assign function because it will await until the post data is retrieved from the backend. It will be a functional component. So now over here we need to pass a query, and that query which will be, remember, we already created a query over here. So just feel free to copy that one. Oops, I need to copy. Yeah. Now I'm going to put that inside the backtick. So now that is our query it will be. So now we need to connect that query. We need to get that query as a post item. So what I'm going to do, it will be const post, and that post it will await. And remember, we already have the Sanity client, so we need to get that Sanity client, and that client it will be from our personal file which we create from there, so that we can access that file from there. Now in the suggestion, it's not giving me that name. As you see, if I just type Sanity client, now be careful when you are importing that one. See, it's a different name, but here we keep that file in sanity.js. So what we need to do, we just type it manually. It will be sanity, yeah, Sanity client, and that Sanity client it will make the fetch, and that fetch it will be our query. So these Sanity client items which we are just type over here, what we need to do, we need to import that one over here. And from where we need to import, let's go in the top, import us. We need to import it from our local file, and that one will be, we need to put inside the bracket. Sanity client, and it will be from that Sanity. So you need to import it from there, not the other file. And also I'm gonna use that URL for, so let's just import that one, URL for also over here. So now that thing is ready. So first of all, as you see, we got our post. Sorry, I'm just making spelling mistake. So it will be a fetch, and so it will fetch that all the query items over here. Now we need to return that items, right? So that return, and in the return, now in Next.js, you can get all over the server side props. You can get it through the props. So you need to understand how props is used in the Next.js. You feel free to go to documentation. So now we need to pass everything as a props, and that props will contain our all the posts. So that post actually now we can access as a props. So if we come in the top over here in home, if we just type the props, as you see the Typescript is making some issue over here. So we need to define our props. Now we know what our props contain, but the Typescript it doesn't know. So we need to actually define our props over here. So now I'm gonna keep it inside the interface, and I will give a name as a props, and that props will contain our post. All the post is contained, so I'm gonna just keep that post over here. And also in the props, now I can destructurize as a post from the props, and also I'm gonna get the props. Now actually props is working most fine, but we need to define our post. Now what the post it will be like, so we can either define over here, but I'm not gonna do it here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go top level of my directory, and I'm gonna take another file, and that file I'm gonna give a name of typing.d.ts. That will be the type definition for our Typescript, and here I'm gonna define what our post be look like. Now if we just come over here, and if you in the text, now in the post, select the post, click on that icon, and you can inspect. Now you can see all over the things I'm defining, I'm taking it from here. All the definition is coming from here, so you can understand when you are looking over here. So now what I need to do, I'm gonna export and the interface, and interface will be the post. Now what the post will be like, what the post will contain. First of all, it will contain an ID which will be string, and also the all other things is contained. I'm gonna just popping up, and I'm gonna explain to you why it's containing. So the post will contain an ID which will be string published at, it will be containing the date, title, author name. Everything is now also in the comments. The comment we didn't make it yet, but we're gonna make it later. Also I'm gonna just comment it for right now. when we're gonna create the comment, I'm gonna put it here. So now also it will contain the description, main image, which it will be containing URL, and also it will be a string. So now let's save it and go to our index file. And now I'm gonna just import that post from our typings. And as I did, as you see, that is not complaining at all. So now our post should be ready. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just console.log. I'm gonna get the post out from here. So if everything is fine, if we go to our browser over here, that file we are working, and we just inspect that one, go to console, you see we are getting some undefined. So still it's not work the way it's supposed to be. So let's just go look around what's happening. Actually nothing happening. I believe we just need to make it refresh because it's just prefetch. So as we refresh, as you see, we are having our post ID, our author name. If we just make it a bit bigger, our main image, our slug, and every single items is over here. You see, we are getting our data from our backend. Now we can actually go through that data, we can map through it. So before mapping through, I want to put some more items, and before putting the more items, what I want, just let's roll over here inside, yeah, it will be inside our personal blog, and inside the schema, let's go to our schema category. Now because as you see over here, if you just come in the main space, there is a description over here. We need to create that description, this description option for our application in our schema, which we didn't make it. So to do that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to our post schema over here, and inside that post schema, I'm gonna define another field, and that field will be for our description. And after our title, I'm just gonna copy that field over here. Copy, and I'm gonna give a name of description, and it will be description, and it will be the string. And for our title also, I'm gonna make our title short. So I'm gonna also add one description over here, and that will say that keep the title short. So just let's save it over here. And after saving, as you see over here, it's gonna render it. It's gonna just make a refresh. Now we have a button to put the description items over here. So what I am gonna do, I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna get the description for this application. Oops, I need to paste it over here. So this is our description over here. So publish it. So now we have only one we have only one post. So feel free to go and create another post. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just copy all over the post I have here. I'm gonna copy and drag it over there. You feel free to create how many posts you want to create and do it the way you want it. Now as you see, I have my all 6 items. Feel free to create all the items the way you like. You can arrange all the topic. So I created mine. Now if I just go over here and pull up in the index.tsx, save it over here. Oops, I just closed that one, npm run dev. So now when I'm gonna spinning that one, so let's go previously opened this one. So I'm gonna close that. This is our CMS. It's running. So just let's make inspect, and we will be able to see all of our items. You see in array, I have 6 items. Now we can map through all of that items and get our desired post result. So first of all, what I'm gonna do to see that, as you see, our post will go over here, and there is some max width and height is giving over here. So what I'm gonna do, as you see, we have that post we are getting as props. So now over here, I'm gonna make a post.map, and it will just give me the post, and for every post we're gonna return. And what we're gonna return, we're gonna return a div, and inside that div we're gonna just pass the image just to see is it working or not. We're gonna put it as a next image component. And now in here, for next image, we need to give a width of that, and also we need to pass a height, certain height. So we would also just pass the height of 350. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give the source. Remember, we already create that URL for, because that will give us a URL. So first of all, we need to pass that URL for, and that URL will be a post.main image. As you see, we are typing, the Typescript is giving me as the components which is relative, and that will be URL for which URL, and of course we will make sure that URL will be available there. So now if we save that one, I believe we can see one image over here. And now as you see, once we are doing it, because it's getting that image from Sanity CMS, so you need to mention that one to from which server we are getting that prefetching that image. We need to tell that to our Next.js, and in our next.config.js we need to make that one pretty sure that which domain we are using for that. And in here what we're gonna do, actually I'm gonna declare the domain. After that it will be the for the images, and images I'm gonna declare domains, and that domains will be for our cdn.sanity.io. So it's getting over from there. And whenever you are changing something in that next config.js, you need to just cut the terminal and you need to run it again. It's not about only Sanity. Whenever you are using any image from any of the external source, you need to declare in the domains for that source, because Sanity gonna do it prefetching that images component, and you need to know beforehand from where you are taking those images. So now as you see, we can see all of our images available, and that images actually is coming from here. Remember those images? Those images you can see over here. So now we are already pulling our images from there. So now what I'm gonna do in here, I'm gonna just make it little bit looks much pretty better. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put in a grid, and I'm gonna make a grid cost of 1. Or I believe it's 3 is better. Yeah, grid cost of 3. If we save that one, oops, the image is, oh, there is we need to put an alt tab, otherwise it will give us that problem. So that alt tab, it will be, I'll just make name of images. So if we see that one, as you see, our images is working just fine. So what I'm gonna do for overall that div, I'm gonna just give some class name for that to work. So let's give, oops, what I did, I believe I just paste something which is not related to that application. So just let's go and grab the class name required for our overall div. So it's just going through some grading pattern for our small devices and larger devices. Now you see, whenever we click on that, as you come over here in our first one, so whenever we are clicking on that, we are getting somewhere, right? If we click on that image, we are getting to that slug with that slug ID. So that things also we need to create in that clickable function. So what I'm gonna do, that overall div over here, I'm gonna cut it, and now I'm gonna put that inside a link which I'm gonna get from the next link. So throughout that link, actually I'm gonna just take that one, and that link, of course, because we are mapping through, we're gonna give an ID, otherwise it's gonna freak out, and the post ID will be the post.id. And also we need to give the href, and remember where we will go. Actually we will put in and the backtick, because whenever we click on that, we will go to post. That post API we're gonna create later on, and then we're gonna make it a unique API which will be our post, and that post will be our slug, and it will take us to the current slug. Now if we just come over here, as you see, if we click on that, you see the slug, the post interior ideas, that particular slug it gonna take. And now we need to create that page and pour all the documents to that slug. Okay, then it will be just working just fine. So now we don't have that slug. That's why it's just giving us 404, but it's working. See, it's a different slug, unique slug for all the items, related slug. So what I'm gonna do now, we need to create our component at the similar way of that. We need to pour all the items. We're gonna do it right now. And as you see, if you go through our previous last build, whenever we are hovering throughout that image, there is some hover effect is going on. We need to create that one also. And to do that, first of all, what I'm gonna do, entire image component, I'm gonna take inside the div. And for that div, what I am gonna do, I'm gonna just introduce some of the class name for that div. And as you can actually surprise from where I'm getting the secondary color and everything. If you just go in the Tailwind config, you can find everything over here. The body font and the color and also the shadow, everything is here. So from there, I'm just giving a border and also, some border and the color, and also giving some opacity. As you see, it's getting a little bit border and actual width and height. So we need to make the image looks better. And to do that, before going through the image, what I'm gonna do, because it's a parent div, inside the div there will be two div which will contain one image and another will contain our text. So for the first div, we're gonna just make it that one. Let's go and give some class name, which we're gonna define that height will be 3 by 5. Yeah, that will be fine. And also I'm gonna make it with a full, and also we're gonna make that overflow hidden. It's because for our image we're gonna give some scaling pattern whenever we are going to hover through on it. So just like for the image, width will be full of width, height full, and object cover brightness 75. But whenever we are hovering on the group in the parent component, is giving the brightness of 100, duration 300, and group hover scale is 110. So whenever we come over here, as you see, the brightness is coming a little brighter, and also the hover effect is working just fine. So now it's time for our lower level of the div. Now as you see, that div contains one div which will be the image and the title, and then also will contain the name of the author and little bit of description over there. So we need to create those two components. So to do that, first of all, in our over here in that div, what I am gonna do, I'm gonna just give it a width of the not the width, the height, which will be 2 by 5, and width will be full. So now here we're gonna create first of one div, and inside that div there will be a p tag, and that p tag will contain the post.title. If we save that one, you will be able to see the title over here. And also after that title, we're gonna need to take actually the author image. And for taking the author image, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just take an image tag for that one, because previously we have been done that one. So now URL4, and inside that URL4 we need the image from the post, and the image will be author and author image. And of course we need to tell them what you want. In the source we need the URL, and of course you will find the image available over there. So also in our all tab we need to say the author image. So now if we save that one, you will able to see this is too much big image. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just make that image looks a little bit better. I'm gonna give some class name for that one, which will be height will be 12. Width will be 12, height 12, and it will be rounded or full, and object it will be cover. So it will be object cover, not origin, object cover. So as we save that one, you see that looks now better. First of all, in our overall parent div in the top level, what I am gonna do, which is we are making over here, I'm gonna make it a flex, and I'm gonna make it in flex in column, and also I'm gonna make it justify center, so it will put all the items in the center axis. So now what I need to do in my over here, what I am gonna do, because I'm gonna introduce some border section and everything, so I'm gonna just grab that class name over here, which I'm gonna pour it. I'm making it flex justify between item center, and I'm introducing one border in the bottom, which is gray 500. As you see, it's giving a bit of border. So now we need to pour that other items, which will be our description. So to do that, what I am gonna do, I'm gonna go out of that div, and now here I'm gonna take a p tag, and in the p tag, first of all, I'm gonna take a post.description, and after description, I'm gonna make that an by, I'm gonna give that post.author.name. So let's save that one, and you will see the author name and the post, because you see the post is sometimes the description is getting bigger. So what I need to do, I need to put it in a maximized position. So to do that, I'm gonna make a substring of the description, and that substring, what I want to do it will not go more than 60 words. Now you see, it looks now much better. So first of all, let's go in our p tag, in overall p tag, which we're gonna do in padding in y-axis 2 and padding in x-axis it will be 4, and the text will be base. And now for our author, as you see over here, actually instead of keeping that one, I'm gonna keep it inside a span tag, so we can go and grab some class name for that one. And for that one, it will be a font semi-bold for the author name, little bit bolder. So now you see, we can see the author name. So it's a similar, it's the same of that. We get our everything up to running. Now, whenever we click, we can go to the Slack. Now we need to create our Slack page. Now, first of all, you need to keep in mind one thing, that Slack, it will be a dynamic route, right? Whenever we click, you see it's getting to a dynamic route. So first of all, let's create the page of that Slack. Now to create a page is a very simple in Next.js application. So what I'm gonna do in the pages, I'm gonna just take a folder named post, and inside that post, I'm gonna take a unique route, which will be the curly braces, and that route name, it will be slug, and then it will be tsx. So RAMCE. Now I am just gonna rid of that one, that slug name. So what I wanna make that one as post. So that slug name will include that all the items. So if we just, because in our slug, what we're gonna have our header, which will coming from the components, and also we're gonna have our footer, and in between I'm gonna take a div, and inside that div I'm gonna make a padding in y of 20. So now this post, it will be ready. So if we click on it, as you see, it's taking us to the post page, and now we will be able to pour the data inside of it, and also for our header. Okay, now if we click, now what we need to do, we need to get that all over the data from the Sanity CMS to make it work. Let's do it. So to do that, what we're gonna make actually in over here, and the bottom, we need to create a static paths for that one. To make that one, let's create that one, export, it will be const get static paths, and of course it will be also an assign function, and that function, what it gonna be, it will be also, we need to make a query, and that query, which it will be, let's run that. I'm gonna run one of the query again in our vision tools. Let's come over here in the vision. So instead of that one, I'm gonna run this code. So it will take all the type as post, ID, slug, and current slug it gonna give. As you see, it's giving me. So whenever I click on that, it's gonna give that the current slug for me. So that one, I'm gonna make it as a query. So in that query, so we need to pass that one. And now what we need to do, we need to make it inside as a post, same like before. So the post, it will be it, and then what, same, it will be sanity client that will come from the sanity dot fetch, and that one will fetch our query. So after that, also we need to say now the paths, which path is gonna follow. The paths, it will be post.map. So it will go through all the posts and map through it. It's gonna give us the post, and that post will be as post, and that post we're gonna just fetch from the typing which we declared beforehand. And now what it gonna return over here is that it's gonna return an object. Inside that object we're gonna get the params. So now yeah, it will be params. Now inside that params, what we will give the slug, and it will be the current slug. So post dot, I think, slug dot current. So that will be our current slug. We're gonna get that one. So what is actually making, it's going to fetch all over the data which require the type as post, and from there we are fetching the post from that query. And now whenever we click any of the item, we are creating a path, and that path actually consists the post.map mapping. We're mapping through all the posts, and there we're gonna creating that params there, and that params is giving the slug, and wherever the post slug dot current post, whenever which post we are clicking, we are getting those data only. So now if everything is ready, everything is in place, we're gonna return that paths, and also we're gonna return a fallback. Like if anything having a problem, we're gonna fall back, and fallback that we're gonna fall back as blocking. So our path is ready. So now we need to create that again, get static props to get the data. To make the get static props, what again, after finishing that function, we're gonna export another function, and it will be for our get static props, and that one, what it's gonna do, it's gonna make us the get static, I believe, yeah, we're gonna get that one from the Nextjs, and it will be also as assign function. And here we're gonna take that params as the variable. So now let's get our function. So what it's gonna make, it's gonna make that const query. We're gonna make another query over here. So this query, it will be a little bit different than our previous query. This query will be contain all the particular paths for that one. So I prepare one of the query which I'm gonna show you right now. So here we're gonna type that query. Now if we just go fetch, it will not give anything, as because we are making an unique pathway of that. As you see, we are giving a single path, like we're mapping through all the path. And like if we just give me a slug name over here, which we have beforehand, if we go over here, if we just take that one, that interior design slug, so if we go in the vision, and now if we try to get data for that particular slug, instead of that unique slug, we can get that data over here. Now it will give me that same particular data. So what we are doing actually over here, we are mapping, we are putting, now as you see, it's giving me array, but I want that without an array. It's gonna give an object and particular array. So those things, we're gonna create that one. Feel free to just follow me and it will work just fine. So that same data, I'm gonna just put a backtick, and it will not be that one, the query we used. So I'm gonna use that one as our today's query. So now as you see, we are having that query, we are having that data, all the data. So now after that, we need to get the post. So const post, and that post, it will await to get the response from Sanity, and it will create from that Sanity client. We are actually, I think we already imported beforehand, yeah, and it will fetch our query. And after fetching the query, in that query, what we're gonna pass actually, we're gonna pass our slug. We're gonna pass slug as an object, and it will take the params. The params, it will be there. So we need to make in an objectable way. So it's gonna take the slug after passing the param. So now here we need to declare if the post is there or not. So now, what if they find the post? Like whenever we click on that slug, we go to back. Now, whenever we click, if they find the post, we need to let's set the post over there. And if they don't find the post, what you will do? So we will make that option whenever they find the post item and whenever it not find the post item. So now over here, what I'm gonna make a condition, if there is no post item, okay, then what it's gonna do? It's gonna just return, and that return, it will be not found, and it will be true. So it will return a 404 page. And now whenever it's finding the post, like I have the post, so what it gonna do? It gonna pass again that post as props. Remember, we create that one beforehand, and that props will contain our post. And there is another piece of state we're gonna pass, which will be revalidate. So whenever you are updating a post, it's gonna prefetch instantly within a 60 second. Like whenever you update, like someone is visiting, if I just reload, it's gonna update quickly. So I'm gonna just revalidate the post within a 60 seconds. You can put as much as you want. So after 60 seconds, what it's gonna do, it will update the old cached version. So it will update the new version as it's supposed to be if you are updating that one. So now I think our post is ready. So now that post, we can actually use that one to get our all params data. So as we previously in our another component, the way we just use that props, we're gonna use the same way. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make it as a post, and that post will come as a props. And that props I'm gonna define over here in the interface, and that will be the props. And that props will contain the post, and that post we're gonna take it from our post in the typings. So now we have the post. So over here, as you see, we're gonna have a main image. Like after the header, we're gonna have a main image, and after the main image also, we're gonna have a different sector, the text, the portable text item, the article items. So first of all, let's pull up the main image. So I'm gonna just take a normal image. You can use the next image also. So in that image, I'm gonna just get that our function URL4, and that URL4, we want that post dot main image to be shown over here. And of course, we need to declare that URL should be there, and also we need to identify that one. So now it's gonna give the cover image. Let's save it. So if we go back over here right now and just click over any of there, I believe we will be able to see the image. You see, the image is over here. So now what I'm gonna do in the image, I'm gonna just give some class name because I want to make it look like the banner image. So the width will be full, and the height will be 96, and the object will be cover. I'm not explaining the Tailwind CSS much more, because if you are watching my channel for a long time, as you see, most of the cases I'm using that Tailwind CSS, so you will understand it, you know. So now we have our banner. So after having the banner, remember, now it's time to pour all the items inside an article. We're gonna create that items over here. So now after the main image, I'm gonna remove that div, it's not working. So now what we need to do, we need to pull everything inside our articles. We will just put the article items over here to make it looks better. And for the article, I'm gonna just take one article tag, article. And now over here, first, what I want to take the post title. So it will be our post dot title. So if I save over here, you will see our title will appear. You see the vintage interior, the title is available. So now what I'm gonna do, this article and all over the things, I'm gonna take inside a div. And now for that div, I'm gonna just give it a max width of 3 pixel, and I'm gonna put it in a, so it will be in the middle. So also for the article, what I'm gonna do, that article, I'm gonna just give a weight, so it will take the max weight of 3 pixel. MX auto, it will be in the middle, padding in 5, and giving a background color, which you are taking the secondary color, and it will be 10% of that color. So if I save, you see that our vintage article is available. And for our post title, again, I'm gonna just go through with that CSS class name little bit quickie, so feel free to follow. I'm giving a font of title font, which will be Montserrat, and font medium, text 32 pixel, text primary, border B, and just giving a little bit another design pattern for that. After saving, you see our title looks better. It's the same way it's over here. So after that, we need to pull our description over here. So after h1 tag, I'm gonna take another h2, and that h2 will contain our description. So also that for the description, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give it's a font of a body font, and also little bit of a text 18 pixel, and then text gray and b2. As you see, our description is ready. And after the description, what we have another div. That div actually is, it will contain one single div. Okay, that div will contain one image, and the blog published by who, and the date. So it will be 3 items in a row. So to make that one, what I'm gonna do actually over here, I'm gonna take a div after that h2 tag. So let's create a div. Inside the div, I'm gonna take that image again, and that image will be same the image of the author image. So I'm gonna just pull it from there, the author image. And for that image also, I'm gonna go and grab some class name, because we need to specify the height and weight, otherwise it will freak out pretty much. So now you will be seeing our image available over here. So now we also need to corrupt our other things, and those all things I'm gonna pull inside a p tag, and that p tag will be like blog post by, and then I'm gonna give a span, and inside that span I'm gonna give the name of the author, post.author.name. And after giving the name, what I'm gonna do in this span, I'm gonna also give that publish at. Now I need to get the date. So to get the date, what I will do, I will take a function from the JavaScript, which will declare the new date, and that new date, which will be the post dot published at, that will be the our new date. And that date, I'm gonna make it to local date string. Okay, so it will give whatever the local data string is available, and of course don't forget to keep the bracket. So after saving that one, you will be able to see the blog post by honest b, the publish at, and the dates available over here. I think that date is not giving the date we are looking for, and why it's messing around. Just let's go add to our code. It's supposed to give that the same thing, but sometimes it just getting a little bit crazy on that. Let's see. Okay, we'll just come to it in a bit. Okay, so first of all, let's go and styling over that. So let's go in the top, class name, font, it will be body font, and the text, it will be base. And also for the author, what I'm gonna do, okay, I'm gonna give that color of the secondary color. Okay, now if we go over here, okay, that to local string is making problem beforehand. I believe, as you see, let's just get the date over here to check that published date is null. That's why we are not getting the date. So if we go to our post, we can fix it actually. Let's see if we can fix that one now. I want all the post ID and publishable date. So oops, okay, need to finish that one over here. Yeah, so the published date, it's giving me at null. Okay, so here it's not catching the date it's supposed to be. So either, okay, if we just give it a date over here, and let's save that one, also giving a date over here, save. Let's go to vision again. It's just not taking. So you're gonna fix it in a bit, okay? Just because we need to some way it's not taking our date, so we need to focus on that. So first of all, we are having those data over here. Now we need to keep that div in a flex mode. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give a class name. It will be flex and item center, and also gap will be 2. Forget about the date. We're gonna fix it in a bit, okay? So now our that things is good to go. Now what we need to do in our post item, as you see, we have some of the documents which we are making in the rich text. These documents we need to get in our there over here. So now that one we're gonna create, we're gonna take it using the portable text. So if you just come in the npm and you just react portable text, and now that's the react portable text exact match. So we need to actually, this is Sanity portable text. It is not Sanity, it should be just react portable text. Yeah, we will use that one, the react portable text. So that one will be actually, with that we're gonna pull the data. Feel free to come and read the documentation to see it much better. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna install that react portable text to get our text over here. So now after that div, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a div, and that div I'm gonna just make a class name, and I'm gonna give a margin top of 10. And now we will port that our portable text from React portable text. Now in that portable text, what we need to pour in, we need to give a data set and also the project ID. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give my data set as a production, and project ID, it will be the ID which we am having here for our project over here. Project ID. Now, after giving that one, also we need to give the content for that one. So the content, it will be our post dot body. So those are the contents it will be available for that. If we go over here, we can see something. Yeah, we can see over here. But as you see, all the text is the similar text because it's not matching the way it's supposed to be. So what we need to do, we need to get another piece of things which will be the serializer. And on that serializer, actually we can declare how the way we want to see our text. First of all, to get that one, h1, h2 and other link item, I'm gonna just get all the data from here. So in h1, I'm declaring how it will be: text 3 XL font bold, and margin in y-axis it will be 5, and font title font. So I'm just declaring the piece of state how it will look like whenever we have the data. So if we save that one, and as you see, it's pouring on. So that's the hover item. Also, because in the link item, as you see, we are giving the color, so it's giving us the hover. If you click, I think it will take in some place in somewhere. So that's why it's giving the hover, the linkable, clickable item. So now we are having those items. As you see, if we just go back to our blog, Now in any of the particular items, if we click, we are having our blog available. Okay, it's running smoothly, perfect, and is fine. So now what we need to do, we need to create our another piece of options, which will be our this comment section. And this comment section, what I'm gonna do, actually I'm gonna create that one, and we're gonna use that use form, and also the like React hook from to create that from and submitting all other things. So to create that our comment section, what I'm gonna do, after finishing the article section over here, that's our article is finished over here. So I'm gonna put an HR tag, and that HR also I'm gonna just go and grab some class name for that one to, because it's gonna define when our article will finish. So let's grab that one over here. So as we said, you see that article is finished over here. Now in the bottom, we're gonna create our this tag over here, this comment section that enjoyed the article, leave a comment below, and then our input section. Okay, and to do that, first of all, let's go over here after HR tag. I'm gonna take div. Inside the div, let's grab the p tag, enjoy this article. Oops, it will be article, enjoy this article. After that, here which will say leave a comment below. Of course, the comment I'm gonna make it a bit bigger. As we save, we're gonna see that. Now enjoy this article, leave a comment below. And for the p tag, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give a class name. It will be a text in x-axis, small text, and the text will be secondary color. Oops, it will be text secondary color, and text will be in uppercase. Oops, will not be there. Yes, font, it will be a title font, and font it gonna be also as bold. And for the h3 tag, I'm gonna also, it will be the font, it will be title font, and the text it will be 3-axle. So let's give it a 3-axle, and then it will also make the font as bold. As we say, we can see our that section is working just fine. And now to make it looks much better, I think it's the similar way of that one. Yeah, that's the similar. So what I'm gonna do over here, I'm gonna take another HR tag after that. So it's gonna just give us a little bit scope. That tag is finished. It's a very small, but it's giving that scope. Now we need to get our from. So here from will start here. So now to make, let's get the from tag. I'm not gonna get that action. So now over here, actually how we gonna do that to this from submission, we're gonna use that. Oops, it will be React hooks from. We're gonna use that one. So feel free to come in the documentation and see how it's work. It's very easy to understand. It's very simple to use. Feel free to come and read something more about it. So to make our today's one perfect, you just feel free to follow me. Okay. So now inside the from, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a label. Okay. Oops, that label. And that label will contain a span tag, which will contain the name, and then it will contain a input tag, and that input tag first will contain the text. First of all, I'm just gonna go a bit faster on that because it's a similar sculpture for all over the items. So I'm gonna give a class name for that, our name tag, and also I'm gonna go and grab some class name for our input over here. Now also in the input, what we need to do, we need to make that one type as text, and placeholder it will be enter your name. If you go over here, as you see, this thing is working, but there is another things which we need to implement that one. I'm gonna just popping up in a bit. So okay, because what I'm gonna do in the overall in the from component, or not in the from, because I want to make it in column segment. So in the level, I'm gonna make it a flex, and it will be flex in column. Oops, it will be column. So after saving that, you see that things is working much fine. And also what I am gonna do in the top level for the from, I'm gonna give some class name. So now as you see, it's coming with the I think it's with the footer. That's why you cannot see actually properly. So I will go in the top level of the div. Now what I'm gonna do, margin bottom of 10. Let's see if we save the purpose. Okay, so now we can see our name is ready. So in the similar way, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna popping up the other, or without popping up, actually what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy that label over here, and the second one, it will be type, also it will be email, and enter your email. And for the last one, it will for the last one, it will be a text area. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just copy that label over here, be an input, it will be text area. Okay, and that text area will contain that comment. And here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give a row of 6, and the placeholder gonna go that one, and the type will be the text type. Actually we don't need to mention the type because it's a text area, so it will contain the text. So now as you see, now it looks better. So after that, what we need to do, we need to get a button. So after whenever we finish that label, here we're gonna get a button, and that button will make it as a submit button, and that submit button, the type will specify, the type will be submit. And now for that button also, we're gonna make some class name for that. So as you see, that is ready. If we click on submit, it will just spinning, but it will not do any of the actionable things because we are not submitting yet. So now our form is ready, but for that form, we need to actually spin up with the React hook. To connect it to the React hook, what we need to do actually over here, we need to import something. Okay, let's go to the code. I know what we need to import. So first of all, I'm gonna import that use from and submit handler. So before do that, actually, first of all, what we need to do to import that one over here. So let's go in our code and import the React hook. And as you see, okay. Oops, yeah, it's already imported that one. So now I'm gonna take that use from and submit handler from there. So let's import that one, the use from and submit handler. So now actually in the use from, what's and how it gonna work, as you see, if you come over here, you see how it's working. Every single details is mentioned over here. Okay, so for our today's code, what I'm gonna do actually, I'm gonna take a to state over here, which will make I'll take the one state, which will be or actually what I need to make over here, I will just take it in a in a component which will be our register, and it will just give me a second to see actually. Actually, for that things we can pull up from here. You see, it's the same things we're gonna use that one. So let's copy from there and let's use it over here. We're not gonna use that watch one, and the same thing, same setup. So I'm gonna just pull it out from my code which I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna use from here the register and handle register, and also I'm gonna use that inputs field which I'm making from that one. And now that input, I need to create a type definition for that one, and that one will be make type. And that type in the inputs, what it will be, in the input we have our id, which will be string, and after that id we will include the name. Also it will be string. Oops, it will be string. And then we will have the email, which will be string. String. So just a tab. And now also it will have the comment, which will be also a string. So now this is our type definition for our that. So now what we need to do, actually we need to create a submit function, and also for our another component, like we need to specify the value. Okay, so now if we go over here, we have the name, we have the email, and also we have our comment. So first of all, to do that, what I'm gonna do, as you see, you can actually get over here how the way it is specifying the value, which is required or not required. The same way we're gonna specify over here. Now in the name, what we actually want in the input, that the name field, what it will contain. So it will contain, because this name we're gonna use for our register, and that register, the name will be name. And also we need to specify is that field is required, and of course it's required, so we will make it required true. So the similar way, I can just copy that things, and in the email we will just mention it as an email, and of course it is also required. And now in our text area, in the comment section, comment, it also required. And now after that, what we need to do, we need to create a submit function which will handle our own submit. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create one skill. I'm gonna just create a function for that one, because see, as you see in the submit, that input type is submit. So I'm gonna just create a submit function for that one. And that submit function, it will be not in the button actually. It's I mean wrong. It will be on our form submission. So whenever we submit the form, there it will be that submit. So it will be on submit. And now here we're gonna take a function which will be handle submit, and that submit will trigger out our on submit. So now we are having our on submit function. So now we need to go through in the top level to create that function. And to create, let's go in the top over here. As you see, I believe it's inputs, that's why it's giving the error. So now over here, what we need to do, we need to create that on submit, and that will take our submit handler, and that submit handler will contain all the inputs over here. So it will be only inputs, and that inputs, it will take the variable as a data. And now if we just see, now what we can do, actually we can just make console.log and we will get the data. Now I believe we can view the data, but first of all we need to check that on submit why it's not taking it. We have some spelling mistake, so let's copy that one. I believe it will be over here, yeah, on submit. That's why it's popping up with the error. So now we are having that our on submit. So now if we just click on console.log, let's see what is giving over here. Either is anything working or not. Inspect that one. So welcome, hello, just anything. Okay, the name, comment and everything is undefined because we didn't connect that one in proper way. So we just go over here and let's see where we made the mistake. I think the mistake is coming from somewhere over here. We need to create an actual ID for that, like a particular ID, so it can actually handle over the data over here. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go in the top level of the form over here. In the form, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna generate an ID for our hook forms. So let's generate an ID for our hook forms, and that ID will take input and it will be self-closing input. And now that one also it gonna make the register, and that register will include that our yeah, it will be our ID. And now what it gonna do actually over here, and also it gonna give it a type, and that type it will be hidden ID. So you're gonna give a type of hidden, and then it will be the name as ID, and then the value it will be, we have the post and that post dot ID. So in that post dot ID actually it will go and create that value, so it will track over with that post, and then we can get the actual value over here. So now let's refresh that tab, and now if we click, see, we can get the error. So it's because it's require. If we click, now we can see the ID, but we cannot see the comment and everything. I think we need to set up with our value props. That's why it's not giving up. So let's set up with that. Sometimes it's just working a little freaky. Let's go over here. I believe everything is right in place, so it's supposed to get over there. So okay, maybe it came later on. Just refresh that one. So now if we type again, so if this time, as you see, we are getting our ID, getting our name, email, everything. So now this one, actually what we need to do, we need to pass that value to our Sanity CMS to create our comment. So what I'm gonna do over here, so right now we have the console log. So in here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a fetch function, and that fetch which will go, it will go to our API, and that API I'm gonna create another for our create comment API, and that create comment API it gonna pass that value, which will pass a method, and that method it will be a post method, and also that body it will be JSON.stringify. So we will pass that value as JSON, so it will give the data. And now after giving the data, what it gonna return? Dot, we're gonna make a then a variable. So in that then, of course, then always coming with a success message. It gonna make that, we're gonna take another piece of state which will like a submit, and so I think it will be in the top level. So over here, like submitted, set submitted. So now when the data will be passed, like after then, so what it gonna do actually, it gonna do that set submitted true. So we can create a piece of state, and now dot catch, if there is an error, what it gonna do, we're gonna make that just set submitted, it will be false. So now that will give false, and now we need to create that API create comment. So on that, actually we can go and make our other formulation. So to create that API, let's go to our API. As you see, the hello.ts API is already available there. So on that API, we will create another which will be named as create API, like create comment. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just copy all of it, and now over here I'm gonna take another file, which will be our create comment.ts. And now let's paste it over here. So now actually we need to connect our components, our application over here. So before connecting that one, actually what we need to do, we need to get our, first of all, what we need to do actually, we need to import that our Sanity client to work it in our front end with compiling with the backend. So what I'm gonna do, Sanity client. So I believe we install Sanity client beforehand. I think we install, right? Otherwise we should not. No, because there's, okay, we need to install that one, Sanity client, for that. So let's install Sanity client. And from that Sanity client, what I'm gonna do, also we need to have our API token from our from our Sanity API token. So first of all, let's go through on that. We need to get that create client from our Sanity client, and that type data we not require. So now we're gonna create a client, and that client, it will be create client, and inside that create client, inside that object, we're gonna pass all of it. So first of all, what we're gonna pass, we're gonna pass our data set over here, which will be coming from Sanity. And also, actually I'm just gonna copy like the previous variable. We're gonna pass that 4 items. That one is my previous application. So what I'm gonna do, in the environment file, I'm gonna get our today's one. So now use CDN, it will be true. Now we need to get that Sanity API token, and that data is not required. So we need to get that Sanity API token, and from where we can get that, you just go to the sanity.io. And now you'll see that personal block is available. So in here, actually in the API, now here we're gonna generate, like if you click and add API, it will create, like click add API. I'm just gonna give a name like personal block. Now I will get in editor mode. So whenever I save that one, it will give me that API. And also what it gonna do, after getting that API, I'm just gonna paste that Sanity API over here. I'm gonna just take it in my another tab, and also I'm gonna, so what I'm gonna do actually, I'm just gonna get that API token, and I'm gonna just paste it over here. Then I'm gonna hide that environment file. So I got my environment file over here. I get the Sanity API token. So now what we need to do, we got our client, right? So now we need to make a function. It will not be handler actually. So what I'm gonna do, that function name, it will be create comment, and inside that create comment, we're gonna pass that request and response. So it will be fine. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna destructurize the ID, name, everything I'm getting from that json.parse.body. So remember, in over here from the post, I think from the slug, we are passing that as the data as a stringify data. So the same data I'm using in the create comment, and I'm just making it a parsing that data. So now I'm gonna make it a try catch to get the data and the other variable. So in the try, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make await and client dot create. So what it gonna create, I'm gonna create an object, and inside that object, it's gonna give a type, and that type, it will be comment. And also I'm gonna make a reference, and that reference type, it will be the reference, it will be reference, REFERENCE, and that reference will give the reference of our ID. Reference, oops, it will be the ID we are passing through. And now also we need to pass some other that one, that name, email, and it will be, we're gonna also pass that other variables, which will be our name and our email and our comment. So those all are the things we're gonna pass through over here. So now we will try that one first. Now, if of course try will be the success one. Now after that, what we're gonna do, we're gonna catch the error. So if there is any error, what it gonna do? Okay, so if there is any error, we're gonna pass that, return that error, and that error, it will be response.status. It's gonna give a status key of 500 status, and that status gonna pass a message, and that message, what I'm gonna do, so you don't submit comment, and then I'm gonna pass the error to see what error we are getting. So now also to see that one, what I'm gonna do, actually we're gonna make that console.log error actually to see like if there is an error, it's gonna show it's gonna give the error, and if there is no error, what I'm gonna do, just to see that comment will be submitted if everything is fine. And also what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna return another response, and that status will be 200, and also it will pass the JSON one, and that one will give a message, and that message will show us that our comment submitted. Now if everything is right, now what actually we are doing here, we are getting our because it's await, so we need to make that function at assign function. That's why it's giving that error. That's the beauty of Typescript. So now what we are doing, we are getting our all the details to connect our class Sanity client, and now we are making that await function, assign function over here, and now we are passing all over those items from our slug in that API, in the create comment API. So now from that API, we are giving that response with that like over here, we are trying that, we are going to the create client, we are creating that comment to the Sanity API. We are passing that as a type as comment, giving the reference for the reference ID, and we are passing name, email, comment. As you see, if we are previously so what I'm gonna do, let's go to Sanity. I'm just gonna show you something. If we go to our previous studio, in the comment, as you see what we are having here, we have the name, we have the email, and also we are having the comment, and that post ID is available over here. So the same thing we are passing over here. So let's go. If everything is fine, we're gonna see that a comment is submitted. So let's refresh that one. And now let's try one comment. This is the first comment. So if we click, you're gonna get a response, is everything fine, that comment is successful. And as is coming from the backend, it will show is over here, is coming from that API. As you see, the comment submitted. So we are getting a successful comment. Now, if we just go over here in our blog, we will still not see the comment available over here. It's because we need to create that comment schema over here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go inside that our blog schema over here, in the personal blog. Now in the schema, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create another file. Oops, not to rename. I'm gonna create a new file, which will be comment.tx. So now I'm gonna just popping up whatever that I use for the comment. So for the comment, the comment will be like there will be a name, and which will be string. Then it will be a title. It will be the approved one, the Boolean version. That comment on the message you are having with the description. and then the email and string, which will be in string, comment will be in text, and the post reference, it will be the post reference. And of course, what we need to do in our index.tsx, we need to import that one. So import comment from comment, and now here also we need to pass that comment to make it show. So now if everything is fine, we can really pass that. As you see, the comment section is available, and that comment we can see just now we are having that comment. Now if we approve and submit, we are having that comment in live. So now if we go in another other file, now if we make in the first one, so let's create a comment. Comment, let's submit that one. So we will get the message in our backend. As you see, comment submitted. If we go to our Sanity, as you see, unknown, the comment is available over here. So now we can take the comment. As you remember, we already create a grok query over here in the Slack. So where is our Slack actually? Let's go back to our Slack. Okay, so now we need to modify that query. We need to include that our comment so that we can also popping up our comment over there, and we're gonna do it in a modify that one. What we need to do actually, we need to add the comment section. So I'm gonna just popping up to get the comment section after the image. That same thing you can just add the type as comment. So we are getting the comment and we are getting the post reference, and if it's approved, it's gonna come, so it's gonna indicate as our comment. So now overall over here in the top, as you see, so this is our form. So after finishing the form, we want to see the comment. So like comments. So now we will take it inside a div, and also we're gonna put an h3 tag which will refer us as comments. So to make it much more faster, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just popping up the class name, and also in here I'm gonna also give an hr, like to give it a little bit of gap over here. And if we save, over here you see the comment is popping up. So now what I'm gonna do in the top level of the div, also I'm gonna just pulling up some of the class name to make it looks a little bit better. So I'm gonna give it a with full flex call, padding in a 10 and my in a 10, just a little bit of normal selection of that. As you see, it's giving me as that position. So now first of all, let's go and get our all the comments. So now we can actually access that post.comments. I believe in the post, why it should take a comment also, because it's not taking the comments, because we need to declare as also the interface for that one. First of all, let's go to declare that, or in our in over here we have our typings.d. So let's take our comments out, because we're gonna have our comments. And also what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get that another interface to pass out all the comments, which will be the comment, approved boolean, and the similar things, the way we make that one as the post. So now our interface is ready. I believe now we can access the comment without any error. As you see, the error is gone. Now if you go to the post.c, the comments is ready to go. So now we will map through, and we will get as all the thing as a comment. And now what we're gonna return, we're gonna return a div, and that div will contain a p tag, and that p tag will contain our comment. So if everything working fine, we will see. Also, this is another comment. Okay, we are getting the comment. So now first of all, in top level of the div, what I'm gonna though I'm gonna give a class key which will be our comment. Oops, comment.id. And also in over here we need two things. First one, it will be comment.name, and then it will be the comment. So I'm gonna take a span tag, and then what I'm gonna do, it will be comment.name, the name we are passing, like whoever is passing the comments, and also that name I'm gonna just give some of the color to define in the secondary way. As you see, is unknown, and this is another comment is passing from there. And now over here, I believe the comment is good to go. Okay, and for the p tag, okay, and just give a little bit, oops, a bit gap from here. I'll give a manual gap. Now as you see, our comment section is ready. Okay, comment, this is another comment where we are pulling that comment again. I think I am fishing is twice. Okay, that's the div. That's our comments. Just make a refresh. Okay, these comments are okay. Just a CSS problem. So now if we go to our home, so let's roll back and let's go to our vintage interior. And now I believe there is okay, there is another. So the comment is coming up from here, and now you see the comment is working just fine. Now as you see, not anyone can comment. So whenever someone, now actually to make submit, actually you can create that all the designing pattern you can create, you can make it. So first of all, not anyone can create the comment, so we need to create the user for that. So for that one, I'm gonna do, for the Next-Auth, we're gonna use that Next-Auth to create our authentication. And let's go get it started. First of all, what we need to do, we need to install that one. Let's go to our project. We're gonna install. Also we need to go because we will use the Google authentication, so we need to create an application in Firebase. So I'm gonna pull out my account. Let's go to console. You don't need to install Firebase inside the application, but you need to create an application. So let's create another another project. It will be personal blog. So let's create that one. No need the Google Analytics. Already imported. So here, so first we need to just create that application over here, then we'll go back to there. The actual idea is overall, whenever someone wants to comments over here, they need to sign in. Okay, those things we will create to make it on that way. So to do that, okay, let's continue. And in the build, in the authentication, what we're gonna do, actually we're gonna get started. Okay, we will enable our Google providers, and we're gonna, now we need to give an email. I'm gonna pass that email. Let's save. So now from here we need to get our secret and other things. So let's save that one. Okay, yeah, let's go over here. And now from that web SDK configuration, if you just press on that, I'm going to show you what you really need from there. So whenever you click on that, you will get two things. One will be your web client ID, and another will be web client secret. You need that two things to create that other specification. So you need to actually copy that two things, and then you need to paste it over here for the Google client ID and Google client secret, and also for the GitHub ID, GitHub secret we're gonna get later on. So these two things you need to do it. Just I'm gonna copy and paste my one. You also feel free to copy and paste your one. So I got my ID and secret. So it's time, we are ready and good to go. So now to do that, first of all, how we can actually now these things is not required. So I'm just gonna click that one. And also what we need to do, we also need to Firebase, we need to go also in the Firebase web console, I believe. Yeah, in the Firebase web console, because whenever you're using the Google authentication, we need to activate your application over here. Just log in with your actual account, the one you are using. Now over here, that is the one. I believe we are in a wrong place, maybe. Yeah, not that one. It will be just it will be a Firebase. Should be in the web console, or let's go and not web or cloud console. It's all are similar, so it's giving much more difficulty on it. So this is the okay, I'm gonna get it in a bit. Actually, I find it over here. As you see, we need to go to console.developers.google APIs credential. We need to go over here. Now here we need to enable that one, that API. As you see, I need to now from here we need to actually initialize our application over here, because we already create our application, our app, that in Firebase. Now we need to give it to the access for the OAuth. So in the credential. So now over here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna search personal blog. Oops, it will be personal blog. Now as you see, this is the application we are using. So now in the credential, we need to give that application in the permission to access. So in here, we need to add that one. So just remember that screen. We're gonna come over here in a bit. So let's go to our OAuth authentication. So now what is saying over here, what we need to do after installing, we need to create an API inside an API folder. As you see, that is our API folder. Now here we need to create another folder which will be named auth. So let's create, it will be auth. Oops, not the file. It will be a folder. So auth folder, and after the auth folder, what will be the name? You see, it will be also in a dynamic routing name. So we're gonna create that file. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just copy all of that from here. For Google providers, as you see, you can view over here in the tab, providers tab, and as you can see, you can view all over the tab. So I'm gonna just searching for the Google provider. So I have the GitHub, I have the Google over here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just copy that one over from here. Let's copy, and let's take that one. For right now, GitHub, we're gonna add later on. So in the provider section, I'm gonna pass that Google provider. And of course, you know the secret we are taking from the Google client ID and Google client secret. So remember, feel free to get your ID and secret. So now actually we can access the access the sign in and sign out options. So these options gonna figure out whenever we are clicking in that sign in. So first of all, let's see how it's work or not. Let's go to our header option in the components. Let's go to our header, and in here we're gonna check actually it's working or not. First of all, to do that, we need to import some of the things. It's mentioned over here. We need to get that sign in and sign out optionable things. So let's go getting it started here. So we need to get that three things. We need to use the use session, sign in and sign out. So let's go and import that one in our header. So let's paste it. So now what we need to do, remember we have one sign in button. Now on here, we will create a function which will be on click function, and that on click what we gonna do, we're gonna make it sign in. Oops, it will be sign in. Okay, so now it's gonna create our sign in function. So if everything is right, we will be able to go to our sign in page. So let's click sign in, and as you see, sign in with Google is available. If we click, and it's blocking because it's for like redirect URI mismatch. So we need to you just copy that one from here, copy that, and in the credential, in the URI, we need to add that one, and also we need to add our like we'll just go to our first page. We need to add our local host on that API also to get access. So it will be, let's copy that local host, add URI, and copy it. So now we will be able to, let's remove that, let's save it. Now we will be able to log in. So let's go to our sign in with Google. And as you see, we're having access that document. So now after sign in, it will take us to our home page. Now let's get our data. Actually, we're getting the value or not. And to check that one, what we need to do, we will take the data as a const, and we will get the data, we'll destructurize from it from the session, and that one we're gonna use that use session and console.log session. So if we session, make it the session, we will able to see the data. I believe maybe we make some mistake again over here. It's use session. Okay. Use session must need to be wrapped in a session provider. So we need to create that session provider, I believe. And to fix that error, I believe we need to go to our root file over here. Oops, let's give it a zoom a bit. So in over here, what I'm gonna do actually, remember we have a file of app.tsx. So now in that file, we need to actually make the things to be done. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna import that session provider, and it will be from our Next-Auth React. So now in here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make that component and a page props. This all other things I'm gonna put inside that session props. So here it's gonna take props of session, and also it's gonna take all the page props, and now that page props will pass this one, actually all the components. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna relatively pass that all the components inside that session provider. That session provider, that session will be our session. Oops, it will be session. So now what we are actually doing over here, that we need to cut that return, and we need to get it over here. So now what we are returning, we are giving that our overall app application that we can access that session provider in any one. We are just wrapping that provider in our application. So if we go to header, now if we just make a console.log and this get our session, it will be session. So let's go to over here and inspect. Now we will be able to see our session is coming as an object, giving the username, email, and also the image credential and other things. Also, it can be available to fetch. So now we are getting our credential. Now we need to arrange our header in a bit, because whenever we will have our session, we are logged in, image, the name, and also that button. These three things need to be changed. So let's go and implement that three things there. So it will be relatively easy as we have the design already. We just need to use the session data. So I'm just gonna note that. So first of all, we need to get our button over here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna getting a piece of condition over here. If there is a session, then we're gonna get a button, and if there is a no session, then we will get another button. So if there is a no session, what we need to go, we need to get our like the sign in button, right? So if there is no session, it will be a sign in button, and if there is a session, we will get our sign out button. The same setup, but in this matter, oops, is the problem. Okay. We make it actually in a wrong way. So what we need to do, we will cut that one. We need to put it here. So now, if we have the session, so we need to implement the sign out button, and we will make it sign out. So after doing that, as you see, we have sign in, sign out, both are here. Why the both are here? Should be one available. Oops, I think we are okay. Because we put the condition, but we didn't remove our previous sign in button. So now, as you see, we sign in. Now we are having the sign out button. So now also we need to change the text with the context. So what I'm gonna do to do that is very simple. What we define is hello stranger, and also here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just popping up the things as this is to be. That hello strangers is over here. So if there is a session, it will be session.user.name. Otherwise, it will be hello stranger. You see, the name is over here. And also for the image, I'm gonna popping up the same things because it's the same condition we are providing. If there is a session, the source will be different. If there is no session, the source will be the normal source. If there is session user, image another. So now, as you see, it's changed. If we just make sign out, as you see, sign in, hello stranger, and everything is possibly is happening. So now let's go to our comment section. Here, we're gonna start putting that condition to actually making these things happen. So whenever someone put it in submit, it will not submit until you are signed in. And to create that, we need to go to our slug, and in the slug we will create that one. So here what we're gonna do, in the comment section, we will have the button over here in the top level. Okay, so now that button, now first of all, let's go to get our session. Okay, so we will get it by using the use session. So let's go and grab. I'm just gonna copy from our header. So over here, we will get our session. Let's import the use session from Next.Auth. And now, as we have our session, we can put the condition. So this button, this submit button, only will be available whenever we have the session. So now let's go session and whenever a session is available, it's gonna give us that. So there is no button. So now whenever we don't have a session, I need to have a button. So the same setup, what I'm gonna do in the below of the from, after the from, I'm gonna generate one button, and that button will be responsible to give us something error. So I'm gonna implement later on. So now I will have a button over here. You see that is a button. So now we're having a button, but it will not submit, and we cannot see that button. Like if we sign in, only then we can see that button, right? So if we sign in over here, it's just a little bit of conditional formatting. See, now we can see the submit, and that button actually can accessible. Otherwise, we will not see the button. So now let's go sign out, and we need to actually, whenever we click, as you see in previous way, it's giving that please sign in to comment. So we need to create a piece of function over here, which will give us that handle user error. So let's go create that one, and it will be over here whenever we are not. Okay, so this will be over here. Now let's go in the top level. We're gonna create it. Handle user error. So it will be, and here what we're gonna do, just give me a second. we need to create an error actually. So I'm gonna create a piece of state which will be user error. So let's go in the top level. I'm gonna create that error over here. And what I am gonna do, whenever that error is available, so like if no session is available, I'm gonna just make set user error, and that error will be please sign in to comment. So this error will show me over here. And otherwise, if there is no error, also let's give that just for sure, because it will not be showing, just to make that one as a class C, if even though it's making it a problem, because that button will not be available, so the state will not be there. But just to be make sure we are creating that one. So what I'm gonna do, after we click the button, we want to show that error. So below that button over here, we're gonna create a piece of another one. So it will be, if there is an user error, if it's available, what gonna do, we're gonna return a p tag, and that p tag will contain our user error message. And also in the span tag, actually what I'm gonna do, I'm popping up some of the exclamation mark with the class name, and also I'm gonna give a class name for our p tag, overall p tag, and that class name is just as you see. It's a normal bunch of class name. It's a text sm, a smaller text, and just giving a little bit color and padding. So now if we click, just make a refresh over here, and there is nothing. If we submit, see, please sign in to comment. So we are having that one. Now let's sign in, because we cannot comment until we sign. Oh, oops, we are in the wrong place. Sorry, we are in the first one actually. So now if we see, if we click, we cannot comment. Please sign in to comment. Let's sign in to make the comment things right. And now we can comment over here. See, now we can actually comment. Now when we are clicking, after that what it will happen, remember we need to create an submit options, and I believe we have creating an option over here, that what it gonna be like set submitted true and set submitted false. So what I am gonna do, I'm gonna wrap everything, like every like all the forms I'm gonna wrap over here. So let's go over here. This the articles, and this also the articles. So enjoy this article, leave a comment. So those all other things, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put in a wrap. So now if there is a submitted option is there, it gonna give us something. Otherwise it gonna popping up everything. So now what I'm gonna do, when there is like a submitted, where is that one? Top. Now here, what I'm gonna pass a div, and inside the div, I'm gonna pass the h1 tag, which one will be thank you for, it will be submitting your comment. And now also I'm gonna get a p tag, which will also pass as a message. Once it has been approved, it will appear below. So now for that div also, I'm gonna just go introduce some of the class name. I'm gonna make it a flex to look is much better and come in the middle. And for the h1 tag, what I'm gonna do is go and grab some class name. It will be the text in a 2XL, and font it will be bold. So now if everything fine, we can have a submitting option. So let's go over here. Let's create a comment, and that comment will be okay. Okay. See the submit message. So now after submit, as you see, thank you for submitting your comment. Once it has been approved, it will appear below. So now if we go to our comment, see, we are having that comment, we can approve, and that will appear over here. So now there is another piece of things which I didn't make it. As you see, over here, if you come over here, whenever you click, oops, let's go sign in. I just want to show you how it will work. Okay, let's sign in with GitHub in our previous old account. Okay, now over here, if I click this error, you can make the same way I create that one. Just take a piece of state and you can get the error because all the error is over here. See that error? You can access that error with that. Just go through your code. You can make that happen. Okay, I know you can do it. So you need to just pass that error like the same way, or I'm your boy, so I'm gonna do it. Just I'm gonna popping up. So you can whenever you have a free time, you can just feel free to go in a good way. So what I'm gonna do in the label, whenever I have the name, I'm gonna give a error name. So like if error.errors, remember we can access all the errors over here. This is the errors we are accessing. If you console.log, you can find all the errors. So now if that errors contain the name, .name, then we're gonna pass that name is required. The same error messaging pop-up we are giving here, and also we're gonna give a error email. Actually, I want you to do that, but it's good. It's good. It's good. So now we are passing the error email, and also we're gonna pass that error comment. So before finishing, after finishing the text area, we're gonna giving error email. So now if we come over here, submit, oh, you get the error. So that's fixed up. So now, as you say, we can also go through the GitHub one for Next.Auth, because I told you I'm gonna also show you the GitHub provider. So let's go and grab the GitHub provider from there. Where is that? That's the GitHub. So I believe we already get it over here. And what I'm gonna do, we just need to grab those things. GitHub provider. Why it's not taking GitHub provider from GitHub provider? And to access that GitHub provider, we need to go just this one. We will come back later once we are uploading that one. So let's go to my GitHub section over here, and now from here we need to go to our setting, and inside the setting just come in the developer setting. Now as you see in OAuth apps, we need to actually new OAuth app, and that one will be personal blog. Now here actually we need to give the homepage URL, and URL will be localhost 3000, and also callback URL, which will be actually authorization callback URL. What I'm gonna pass that, not that one, this is our previous, so I'm gonna pass that localhost 3000, localhost 3000 API out callback.github. So now what I am gonna actually do, I'm gonna take it in a different. So I am gonna just register my application. And now after registration, actually you will able to see so many things. So that's why I hide that one. Okay. Actually, there's no problem too, because it's need to generate. So now after register, what you're gonna do, you can get the client ID. Now you need to copy that client ID and put that in your env file, and also generate a new client secret. And once you click that, it will generate the secret. So go get that one and paste it in your env file. I'm gonna get that now. So now I already copy and paste everything. Now I can access the GitHub ID and GitHub secret. So let's go over here. Now if everything is fine, let's make sign in, and as you see, we can also sign in with GitHub. So this okay, maybe we need to make a refresh or something. Let's just make that one sign in. Okay, I think we need to make some configuration. Let's go to GitHub again. I think what we need to do actually, the personal blog, for that one, I'm gonna make that localhost, and I'm gonna also make that one. Let's update and see if it's working or not. Let's sign in again. GitHub. Okay, now it's working. So no need to the callback function. So it will just get it in that way. So as you see, I can sign it with my credential of GitHub. So now you have the GitHub and also you have that Google. So now what you can actually do with that, you can actually make everything. You can go over here, and also it's responsive because we make that component responsive the way. So I think we need to add some padding to make it much more responsive. So let's go to our, it will be in our pages and also in our index. So what I'm gonna do over here, I'm gonna give you a padding in x-axis 4. Okay, so now as you see, it's fully responsive. So now is everything ready, but after having that ready, you want to upload it in the Vercel, right? And to do that, we can actually do it in a proper way. So first of all, what I want you to do, first of all, over here, we are running in Sanity, remember? So let's see how we can actually preface to make that Sanity build function running. Let's go to in the Sanity package.json. We need to run that Sanity build to make it in an actual way. So let's Sanity build. So it's gonna build if one which actually we can access in online. Let's run it. Okay, now see, it's building Sanity Studio, which gonna be uploaded. We can access over there. Like if we go over here in we're gonna close that over here, sanity.io. After it deployed, we can access that one through online. So that's the one it's gonna making. So it's creating right now. Give it a little bit of time to create that one. And by the way, if you want to actually create more configuration, something more, feel free to do it. It's very simple. You can do it with Sanity, and you can make your blog so much unique. Okay. And you see when sign out, everything working fine. So what I want you to show, like I want you to now upload and make it online. And also then I need to figure it out, because whenever we are making it online, we need to change something over here. I'm going to show it to you how you can do it, because in the local host, these things and URIs we need to change. So those things we're going to make right now after those Sanity build finish. Oops, actually it will not be Sanity build, it will be Sanity deploy. It's my bad, I'm sorry. It will not be Sanity build, because you need to make it Sanity deploy after running the code. I remember that one, because as you see, it will be not deployed, so we need to deploy it from our local server. So let's run Sanity deploy. So now I think, yeah, now you see the same name we will give personal blog. Oh, okay, so it's already taken. So let's give so null blog YT YouTube. So now it's gonna give us an optimized build production. As you see, we're gonna access that one from here. So let's create that one. It was my bad to run that Sanity build. It will be Sanity deploy, which will deploy a production build for us. So the deployment is done. So if we come over here, hit a refresh. Now you see the same over here, whichever we accessing, we can access that one over here in live. And also let's test it. Is it working or not? So it's coding is fun. Let's make it. Let's try publish that one just to see if it's working or not. So still we are in running in a local machine, right? In localhost. So if it will change over here. And now you see, actually, the funny thing is, actually our Sanity is now over here, is not running in localhost 3333, but still we can access that one over here. You see, it's not going actually. We can access that one over here. So that is the very interesting thing about Sanity. And you see, it's changed. And I believe if we go over here, there is something looks odd. That one, this title, actually we can define the title a bit in a good way. So that one will be indexed, and here somewhere is the title. Post the title. So class name, font, title font, text, LG, save it. Let's see, it will be okay. It's good. And so what we're gonna make, we're gonna make it an Excel. Okay. Okay, it's we make it uppercase beforehand. Okay. Now it looks bad. Good. So now we have our Sanity up and running in actual online. So we can actually collaborate with that. So now it's time to make it, to deploy it, and we're gonna deploy it in Next.js. First of all, we need to deploy it in GitHub, and let's go open a GitHub. I'm gonna open a repository for that one. Repository, we're gonna make it private because remember our keys is there. It's better to keep it private. So personal blog YT. So create the repository, and I need to open this, get it from over here, and I need to open from my file wherever I am deploying that one. So it will be over here in the test blog. So previously, because I clone it from my GitHub, I'm gonna remove that clone. Okay, so that will be gone. So now I can actually access to a clone in a new way. So you see that clone is gone. So now in here, there is no Git repo over here also. So what I'm gonna do, first of all, I'm gonna make Git init. I'm gonna initialize the Git, and over here in Git ignore file, I'm gonna remove that one. So it will ignore my node modules over here and also over here node modules, because I have two projects in a single project. So it's gonna ignore every single node modules. So now let's git add dot. It's gonna add everything, and git commit m personal blog YT added. And now what we need to do, we need to clone that with our repository. We need to actually add that one with our repository, which is add remote. Okay. And now we'll just git push your origin master. We're gonna get everything to our actual master repository, which we are actually connecting with that. As our uploading done, let's go to our repository, just refresh. Now everything is available over here. Now from here we can deploy it through Vercel. So let's go to Vercel because we will do it in a Next.js. Now here I'm gonna take a new project, and that project I'm gonna take from that personal blog YT. Let's import that one and let's deploy. So let's see if it's deploying at the first attempt or not, because there is lots of cross configuration is going on. Let's see how it's gonna take. See, it's going on and we are getting our first error. And what is showing, the vision tool is not available for that, and that error is happening when the upgrade in vision tool. So to ignore that error, actually we can, what I really followed in that, I will just go and create a Vercel ignore file in our root directory. As you see over here, in our top level, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a dot Vercel ignore. Yeah, that Vercel ignore file. So what I'm gonna do, that one, I'm gonna give it the name of that. I will tell it to ignore all the Sanity file and folder structure, and also I'm gonna keep the name of that personal blog to just to hold back and just ignore everything over there. So let's go to git status. Okay, git commit, pass the message Vercel ignore file. Oops. Okay. We need to close that. Yes. So now it will push that Vercel file. And of course, let's go to our repository. Let's make a refresh. Okay, that's one over here is applicable. Now let's go to our project over here. Okay. So now I believe it's gonna start rebuilding from that push. So let's see what is giving us in this time. So this, we're just saying that Vercel ignore whatever the error is coming up from the Sanity, especially Sanity CMS. So it will ignore all the error and it will just build with whatever subject it's containing with Next.js. It's because what we're gonna do later on, we're gonna connect our Sanity with an environment file, so which will be effective in any way. So let us go and give us the output. Okay, now the build is complete and we can access. You see, if we visit over here and we can access the all over the things, everything is working very fine. But there is still some things which you need to go. We cannot access the Sanity to put the comment. If you just make it a sign in, there is the server error. And that error, it's fine. It's supposed to be happen. That's why I still in online. I want you to solve that one. So let's make it happen. So first of all, remember, this is the, okay, let's go to our application first. This is the line we are using. So first of all, let's go to our OAuth authentication for Google. We're gonna add that one. And also in the URI, we're gonna add that, and we're gonna just pass this one. Let's save this. It's completed. And for our Google, what we're gonna do, we're gonna also pass that value over here. Oops, no, not that value. It's my bad. It will be this. It will be this one. Yes, not the other way around. So, okay, this is the home page, and this is the. So now I believe it will find its valid URL. So let's see, is it taking or not? Let's go sign in. Still server error. And now this error will contain a bit of time, because it will just go and predefine all the settings. And like if you go to the functional logs, I think you can see that. Did you see personal block API auth error? So, okay. Just give it a little bit of time. It will just take a time to access the server and predefine and get the configuration. The way it will not work. It will not work, of course, because we need to give that environment file. Remember, we are having that ID and value, which we need to with that environment file. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just yeah, I took it. This is, so I will took it in my another screen. So what I'm gonna do, like for the Sanity, all the Sanity public ID and key, I'm gonna also put that. So this is the, I'm gonna make this next Sanity project ID. So I'm gonna take my project ID, I'll pass the value, and that value will be coming for the production mode. And also for next Sanity public dataset, I'm gonna give the dataset, and that dataset will become for the production value. So I'm just simply adding all the variables from my environment variables to access over here, because it will take that variable and it can access now everything from here. And also the API version over here, it will be that version. Oops, I need to click as a production. So now I'm gonna also put all other secrets for Google and GitHub. I will add the same in that way. The way I'm doing right now, like also for the Sanity token and GitHub, I'm gonna just pass that one and give the value over here. You also try to add all of your value and then we're gonna go back with that. Now, as you see, I am having my all the environment variable. I'm putting in the Next-Auth URL with that URL of my application. I'm also giving the Next-Auth secret. You put your Next-Auth secret and GitHub secret, GitHub ID, Google client secret, client ID, and the Sanity. So all the related environment file we keep, you just try to put it here. And after putting it, it will not work initially. Just give it a time, 5-6 hours. Sometimes it's taking a little bit more. That server, it will go. Trust me, it will go for sure. So, and also in the URI, just try to change with that URI with the redirect with your home page and other page, and also in over here. Like also for GitHub, we change already. So after doing that, you will be able to see. So right now, your page is running over here. As you see the personal blog yt.vercel.app, and for the sign in, just feel free to try, and that will go within a bit, like 1 hour or 2 hours. Then the server, it will reconfigure, and you will be very much sure for that. And to do that, of course, for our today's application, what you need to do, you know it very well. You just need to go to GitHub, and of course, and I will highlight that one, our repository, which we have already for here, the public here, the test blog. I'm gonna give that repository. You just clone or download from it, and then start building. I believe after finishing that video, you will be able to make your personal blog by yourself. Okay, so all the best. See you in the next video.